Hello and welcome to the Knitting Diaries. They're being held on my couch. I don't think you can see my actual couch, but I'm sitting on it. I mean, it's what most people generally do on a couch, as far as I know. I'm sure other things can be done too, but I generally just sit on it or lay down if I'm really sleepy. Anyway, the Knitting Diaries. I'm gonna talk about my knitting because it's fun and I like it. And, why not? I'm sure that you can have many reasons why not, but I'm also saying why. The reason why is simple. I enjoy it, so I'm gonna do it. My name is Kersti, by the way. Last time, is it a week ago? Was it not a week ago? I never remember because I don't always film, edit, and upload the same day. So today is March 20th. So it's Monday. And I'm hoping the video will go up today because I kind of put like Monday being my knitting diary days. And the goal is to film this on Sundays. That has not always been happening. Anyway, in a ramble, welcome to a rambling chit-chat about knitting. Most of it consists of me showing up what I done because I like it. And last time I talked about these. There are some of my hand warmers, wrist warmers. No one really answered in comment sections like, what do you call them, hand warmers or wrist warmers? But they're simple and easy. But I had, because I'm trying to use up my yarn, my wool yarn, or not necessarily all of it, but I had like 4.3 kilos, so I'm working on my way through it because I would love to buy some new yarn, but I have so much yarn, and the reason I'm looking behind you is because that's where my bookshelf, narrow bookshelf I have, it's filled with my wool yarn. Only my wool yarn? Also, that's a question I'm gonna ask you let's be honest, in the end of the video, because now I've put you on a tripod and it's easier this way. Anyway, I ramble. I made these out of this yarn, and I showed them off last week, told you all about them, or at least some of it, but this yarn was an old yarn that I had, so I had a little bit left. Not sure what to do with it, because a lot of my yarn are like, I have one ball of this and one ball of that, and it's all like older stuff, so I can't get any more of it. So yeah, it's all random stuff. So since I had just a teeny tiny bit, and I have seen the wrist warmers that my mom occasionally uses, and she has these teeny tiny ones, so I made a pair of teeny tiny ones. So yeah, they're like really teeny tinies. They're literally very much only for the wrist. You can't get much hand warming out of them. But they're teeny tiny. And I figure since my mom uses them in approximately this size, I'm sure someone else will too. So what I really want to do, sure, use up a bunch of my yarn because I have a lot and it's starting to annoy me. It's been annoying me for a long time, but I kind of really went for it this time. So I'm like, I'm gonna use a lot of my yarn and make stuff. So I made these super teeny tiny, super short, and I'm not gonna use all the things that I make. So I'm hoping to find a market that I can sit in and sell stuff. So, I mean, it's nice to have variety. At least I think so. And these, you can obviously see the color. They were knitted, and I have my little notebook down here because I do not remember everything, so I need to check my notes. But they're 100% wool yarn, so they're nice and warm. And let me see. I used needles 3mm, and from my understanding, in the US, needle sizes are like different sometimes, so I don't get it. They're 3mm needles. Shouldn't be that hard to agree up on a measurement. But I weighed them because since I said like I have 4.3 kilos of wool yarn, so I'm like starting to figure out, okay, how much the stuff I make actually weigh. The big ones weighed, I don't even know. These weighed 29 grams, which is obviously not a full ball of yarn, because a ball of yarn, or this is an old one, so it was approximately 50 grams. But these were 29 grams, and these were 16 grams. So this was definitely not a full ball of yarn. I mean, 29 plus 16 is 39, it's 45 grams. And it didn't really look like it had been used. Well, 45 grams in total. And that is approximately 50 grams, so in that sense I can agree, but yeah. A little bit for everyone, you know, can't just have one size fits all, because in my opinion, one size fits often no one. Not like perfectly. But there are certain things that can fit a lot of people. Or in the next case, a lot of babies. They're kind of one baby at a time. I made some wrist warmers a few weeks ago that I actually sold. Very happy about it. But they used this pattern from Drops, Sweet Verbena. And I liked the pattern. I didn't have much more of this yarn, but I had this yarn. And I can only show you the tag now because I used up most of the yarn. I had 5 balls of this yarn. So I made a little bit of changes, and I made a baby blanket, and it's done. I showed it off last week. I was not done. I must have showed you last week. Yeah, it was not done, but now it is. And I don't know, you can't like, it's not so big that you can curl like a baby like super much into it, but it's so soft. Oh my god, it's like, I kind of want to get more of this type of yarn, knit a blanket for myself because it's so soft. I love it. And I don't know how well you can see the pattern. Was that too close? I don't know. Anyway. But this is, and I knitted this on, I mean the yarn calls for needles that are 3 millimeter, but I knitted this on 3.5 millimeter needles because my knitting is very compact, tight. I'm not sure the right word, but here it is. And this ended up, I had I had 5 balls of this yarn, and I do have a little bit of leftover. Because if I didn't stop where I did, I mean, there is this width, and it's 58 centimeters this way, and the length is 67 centimeters. And I realized if I made it any longer, it would look really weird, and I didn't want that. So I used 216 grams, so I have almost a ball left of this yarn. What will I make with that? I have no idea. I mean, we have some potential options here. I like these. They're easy to make, and they're quick, and in a way they're kind of a little bit of a one size fits all. So yeah, I'm very happy. So now I have 2 knitted baby blankets that I can sell, that I really hope someone want to buy. And then I started on one thing that I've been postponing and like procrastinating on because I found it intimidating, and I did it. I continued with the sock. It's amazing. At least I think it's amazing. Because this is a toe-up sock. It's my first time doing that. And I have hair everywhere. Wow, okay, there. I don't think you could see, but I could. But I started from the toe. And I'd never done that before, so I needed me some video tutorials. And I used Oh, I just went through this in my head before I started the video. Nimble needles, I think. Had a great video on how to do like a toe up sock. So I started with my toe from his video, which is the starting of the toe in the toe box until here. So easy. It's like ridiculously easy. And I love it. Absolutely love it. You don't have to, because usually I start like from the top and like go down and finish like with 4 needles and like a teeny tiny, like at the end I think I usually have 8 stitches. So 2 stitches on each needle, which is a nightmare by the end. So starting with the toe like this, I love it. I might knit socks like from the top and down at some point again, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because starting the toe like that and it being that easy, I love it. I love it so much. So thank you to, I don't know the actual name, but I think the channel name is Nimble Needles. Thank you so much. I love that video of yours. The only thing I would change, because I don't really like it when the whole foot, because that's how it is here, the whole foot has, I'm trying to think of the English word, stockinettes. I prefer to have ribbing on the top of the foot. Like, okay, I'm gonna show you my dirty socks. It does not sound good. But the socks I'm wearing, they're stockinette in the bottom or under, and they have ribbing on top. Although, as I said, these are dirty, should be cleaned. But they have ribbing on top, and I feel they always fit my feet better. Because this doesn't always fit my feet perfectly, because it's kind of like one size. Doesn't quite fit my foot. But if I have ribbing on top of the foot, it fits better for me. So that is one thing I will change. But the toe box, oh, I love it so much. And the reason this was like not a nightmare for me, but like the reason for my procrastination was the heel. Because he was talking about, and how I usually do it, I like do the back flip and the under, and then I pick up and I do what I assume is the gusset. But I couldn't do my regular heel coming from the toe. It wouldn't work. So, sorry, I don't remember your name, but someone suggested a video to me. The video, the channel name is Earth Tones Girl. I really hope I remember that correctly. I will link it down in the description. But she had a great tutorial. She does everything like so, not slow, but like you see it in real time so you can follow along, and I love it. There's a lot of logo going on in this video today. So the heel, sure, it gets these little ears that I'm not crazy about, but it might just because it's like I'm not used to making this type of heel, so that might be beginning error for my part, or on my part, which I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I have to learn at some point, and this is my learning socks. I mean, these are the socks, but I had a big ball of yarn, 100 grams, divided it in 2, and intended to knit up like all of it on each sock. Never mind. I have the tag. I'll show you the tag. I just gotta get it out of here. Because I started the sock on Magic Loop, and that was great for the toe box. But when I got to the feet, or the foot, I mean, Magic Loop is great for the toe box, and I'm sure for the people that have a long one of these, because this is the longest I have, and I'm using 3mm needles. This is the longest I have, and it's 80 centimeters. And for me, Magic Loop on this, when I got to the foot, we didn't quite get along, so I went back to my regular like bunch of needles. And I'm totally okay with that. But I intend to knit up the whole yarn, or the whole ball of yarn, and I realized something. This is the tag. Do you see all of it? I don't know. This is so confusing. Anyway, it's a 100-gram ball of yarn. Generally, the balls of yarn I buy are 50 grams. This is 100. And I was like, oh, perfect. You can knit a whole pair of socks. What I did not quite think about is this is somewhat thin yarn. And down here, I don't know how well you can see it, but it says you can make a pair of socks in the size 46, which is a big man size. And my feet are not that big, so I use the size 38, 39 in shoes, so that's what I knit my socks in. Oh, I should probably finish gushing over the heel first. Yeah, but you knit like, and the beauty of the heel, I'm gonna try to stay on track. We all know that's really hard for me, but keep going. But the beauty of this sock, or the heel, the little thingy on the bottom there, it looks the same whether you do it from like toe up or from up to down. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter which way you do it because it's the same either way. And I love that because, you know, sometimes when I knit my heels on my socks, there are slight variations. And a lot of the time, not a lot of the times, I've gotten pretty good at it to not make holes, but okay, let's see. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. This is a little scary. But this is kind of like where I have no idea what you see. But this, oftentimes, you get a tiny little hole here. When you start like going from only like the heel flap and then you start knitting round again, oftentimes it becomes a little bit of a hole here. With this one, I do have a slight one on the other side, but that's yet again beginning error. I didn't tighten my yarns well enough like before I fully started. So completely my own fault. Can't talk. Anyway, that is completely my own fault. And I mean, I'm gonna get better because this is my beginning sock. But this is not the first sock, because when I actually did the thing and watched the video and understood what the Earth Tones girl, God, I hope I say her name right, was talking about in her video, and I was like, oh, this is great. So this is not the first sock. This is. So I finished this sock and I got so eager that I just started my next one. And I've gotten a pretty good way. And so let me show you this one. This is the first one I made. And as I said, I was like, oh great, one ball of yarn that can be used for a pair of socks. And I'm gonna make sure to have no leftovers. So I'm just gonna start from the toe. That's gonna be an experiment, starting from the toe, trying magic loop, trying a new trying a new heel. It's all gonna be new. But I won't have any leftovers because by the time the toe and the foot and the heel is done, I'm just gonna do ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, the rest of the yarn. Turns out, I now have a very long sock. It wasn't quite my intention, but as I said, I didn't fully think it through, because this yarn would fit 46 size, and this feed only took like 39 size in shoes. So it was a lot left for the ribbing. And also, I did finish it off. I did not weave in the yarn because then I tried it on. It goes like basically up to my knee. I mean, hello, it's a long sock. But the bind off was too tight. It had like, it was very flexible down here, it's perfect. And then like the one last round where the bind off was tight and uncomfortable. So yet again, I went hunting on YouTube for videos and I found Knitting Diaries video. And again, I will link it down in the description. And she had like a stretchy cast off. And it's now perfect. I mean, look at this. There is no stretching. It like goes all the way. And now it looks weird because I've been stretching it a lot. Because I was so fascinated. It's like, usually, I don't know if I can show you. You can't see it that well, but here I can stretch the bottom longer than I can stretch the top, where I bind off. But this one, like, it's the same. It's stretchy. I love it. And yes, it needs to be blocked and all. But that's it. I finished the first full sock. And I am so obsessive. So I've got no, like, almost normal leg length on this sock, but I will do what I said. And I mean, I've already done it on this one. So I will finish this ball of yarn and then I will have a pair of very long wool socks. And the blend is 75 wool and 25% polyamide. So they're both warm and sturdy, and I might give them to my sister because the feet are a little, it's not quite my taste. So there are things that I will do next time I knit a pair. I mean, because I'd already gotten so far, so I wasn't gonna undo anything. I can do that later. These might be given to my sister or maybe not. I haven't decided. But next time I will do the perfect toe up start with the toe box, and then I'll probably start ribbing from here on the top of the foot. And I will get better at making the making the heel. So yeah, I feel like I have done a lot this last week. I mean, knitting all of this does take, I mean, it's simple ribbing, 2x2, like 2 knit, 2 purl, but it's taking time when it's that long. It's basically a leg warmer with a foot because it's that long, but it's super soft and I love it. So my shame has now lessened. So my basket of shame is not a basket of shame anymore. At least not for the socks. And I have some patterns, a heck of a lot of needles, and the cardigan. You haven't actually seen the cardigan, but that is because I decided to work on my wool yarn. So yeah, and the cardigan is in cotton. And then for my question, I need to ask you a question. I am hoping that you will help me decide, because this is part of my wool yarn. Oh, by the way, this is the leftover from the baby blanket. Baby merino. But yeah, this is like less than a ball. Random. Here's the other. I intended to do the same with the socks. Ooh, we almost have a fall. But yeah, I intended to do the same with this yarn as I do with the long socks, but I don't think I want to make that long socks, so I'm not sure. But it'll still be socks. I don't know. If I don't think one ball would go for 2 pairs of socks, but if I had 2 balls, I would be able to get 3 pairs of socks. Maybe. I don't know. But I have all these yarn, and all of it is wool, and it's a lot. And I had originally decided that when we turn April 1st, I would take all of this out, because the goal was to switch out the wool yarn in my bookshelf with all of this, which is cotton, because I don't want to do the same thing all the time. And I have no idea how much this is. So the question is, should I switch out the wool yarn over there with the cotton here on April 1st, or should I wait and only knit with wool yarn throughout all of April and then start cotton in May? I don't know, which is why I'm asking you. What do you think? Should I switch? Yes or no? It's a very simple question. It's a very simple yes or no question. So there you have it. That's my question. That's the Knitting Diaries for the day. And I'm not used to filming this kind of vlog style anymore. I'm used to putting it on a tripod. But we're trying new things here, okay? Asking you a question, simple question, yes, no. And also, what do you think about the long socks? Should I have just stopped them earlier? Or is it okay that they're like super long? Let me know that in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you so choose. And I hope you have a nice day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!